Hey, you liberal fruitcakes. Student loan debt. Let's talk about it. Now let's just get this out of the way. Higher education, college and universities, is not a right, it is a privilege. Which means if you want to go to college and you do not have money saved up to go to college, you're going to have to take loans out. These are either going to be federally backed loans or private loans, of which you will sign a contract stating that at the end of your college degree, you're going to have to pay that money back because it wasn't your money. And now that the bill comes due, there are many of you out there that don't want to pay your loans back. Well, this is a problem because when you decide that you don't want your loans paid back and you say, we want them forgiven, what happens when they're forgiven? It gets passed on to people who didn't take the loan out in the first place. So let's look at a couple of numbers. There's approximately $1.62 trillion in student loan debt, with 92% of that tangled up in federal student loans, and only 8% is private student loans. This debt burden is approximately spread between 42 million people. The average person owing in debt about $38,000. Now, currently in the United States, the average in-state tuition for a public university is $11,000 a year, just over that. Now, out-of-state tuition will run you roughly $24,000 a year, or just over that, with private institutions charging you about $43,000 a year in tuition, or just over that. Now, if we are to look at just a bachelor's degree and the total cost of a bachelor's degree, that includes room and board, for in-state tuition, an in-state bachelor's degree will run you roughly $103,000. Now, the average salary for a person graduating with a bachelor's degree in a STEM field, business field, or medical field averages about $56,000 a year in wages. This is before tax. While a bachelor's in education will earn you about $40,000 a year. Again, these are averages, with visual arts degrees earning a little bit less than that. But some figures show visual arts can get up to the $48,000 a year. This is why if you are going to take a student loan out, it is super important to pick a degree that is going to give you a good ROI to pay back the debt you are incurring. Because you are not entitled to have the rest of society pay for a degree that you chose to get and may not even use. So let's look into that. There are studies that have been shown that 46% of people who graduate with bachelor's degrees are actually employed in their field of study. Studies have shown that 29% work in other fields and 16% are unemployed. A study conducted by the Wall Street Journal also showed that 52% of those who graduated with bachelor's degrees do not utilize those degrees. So why should we pay for a degree that you might not actually even use? On top of that, there are many people who don't actually even wind up finishing college and incur debt for a degree that they don't even wind up getting. So let's look at that. Approximately 30% of freshmen drop out of college, while approximately 40% of people attending college will not actually graduate from college and will drop out. So if you take that into consideration, there are 40% of people out there that may want their student loan forgiveness for degrees that they didn't even wind up getting in the first place. Self-responsibility is the exact reason why many people do not want to pay for your degrees. You chose to do it, you get to pay it off. Student loan forgiveness is kind of like me buying a big-ass house and telling you guys you need to pay it off for me because I don't want to pay the loan. Have a good day!